Thursday morning, everyone, and welcome to AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. There is a lot to get to this morning. There's lake effect snow up there around the Great Lakes. Also, the chance of snow in the south. But let's start with the big cool down that we got going on. Get you ready for winter, which is here. And, you know, this is not that unusual, right, to see this big cool down. I think it's just the shock to the system that's getting a lot of us because it has been so mild to kick off the month. So now the cold is here. It stays in through the weekend. There is a reinforcing shot of cold air that comes in. And then next week, there's another big sort of shot of cold air that comes on down. So we're in this pattern for a bit. Let's look at today's forecast. Temperatures are in the 20s. These are not the wind chills. These are not the low temperatures. These are the high temperatures for today. 22 degrees in Minneapolis, only 20 in Marquette. And we still, of course, have that great snowpack. So we're sort of locked in with the cold here. Tomorrow, a brief from cold to warm up, but a return closer to average. We got 37 for you in Chicago, 34 in Detroit. But then temperatures are going to go back down again on Saturday with that next shot of cold air. And then you see the next one after that. The next round of cold comes in on Tuesday and Wednesday. In Chicago, we do have the chance of some snow coming in, fairly light, but coming in with a little system on Sunday into Monday. All right, Minneapolis, for us, we are going to see temperatures staying at or below average. You can see temperatures in the 20s both today and Saturday. And the next round of cold comes in, and we really feel it by Wednesday with our highs back to only in the 20s. Our average high this time of year is 30. So we'll get above that briefly on Sunday. Let's talk about the Northeast, because first of all, it was just too warm the other day, right? When temperatures were up near 60. Boston, you're practically tropical when you sort of felt that air mass yesterday morning. Today, it's a much different story. We're only going to 41 in Boston, but a lot of 30s for highs back across the Great Lakes. We got Buffalo sitting at 32 for a high temperature for today and tomorrow. And temperatures on Saturday are going to be about the same. 46 in D.C. We're staying in the upper 30s or even just about near 40 degrees in places like New York City. Now, there is a little system not too far off the coast by the time we get to Saturday into Sunday, so we'll keep an eye on that. We've got more in the forecast and that coming up. But I think what you need to notice here is that we're going to be above freezing in Boston, 39 on Sunday, 38 in New York City, but plenty of spots will be below, staying in the 20s in places like Binghamton, New York. So New York City, here's how your forecast shapes up. Not too far from average, actually. We're averaging 46 degrees right now for a high temperature, and will be 45 for today, low 40s for you tomorrow, and into Saturday, 38 degrees. That's it on Sunday. That is your colder day. And then we see that big cold come in by next week. That's the bigger sort of cold potential all the way down into the southeast too. All right, D.C., our temperatures averaging 49 degrees right now. So actually a smidge above that today. Not too bad. The real core of the cold isn't getting here to the mid-Atlantic just yet, but we'll feel it by Wednesday of next week, 37. That is it for a high temperature here today. That's how you know it was sleet and not freezing rain, because sleet has a beat and you hear it bouncing. So we had that all the way down into the deep south yesterday. Nothing really stuck. It was just more sort of a novelty situation. But as we get through the weekend, there is going to be another disturbance that comes on through the southeast. Plenty of cool air in place, and timing, I think, is going to mean everything as well. So let's just talk temperatures for now into the south and east. For today, we're going to stay in the 40s. Jackson, Montgomery, even Tallahassee, where yesterday we were up near 70 degrees. Today, 49, and that's it. Orlando, we're going to start to feel the chill. By tomorrow, temperatures go from the 80s into the 70s, and we'll actually get into the 60s by the time we get into the weekend. Charleston, 70 yesterday, 46 degrees for you by Friday, and that's where we're staying getting into the weekend as well. Look at Orlando, not just the 60s. We're dropping now to 59 degrees. So if that's where you are going this weekend, plan for some cooler weather. Let's look at Memphis, where our temperatures are going to be hitting below average. Average high is 54 degrees. We stay below that through the entire weekend. By Monday, we do warm back up to 59 degrees, but there is another cold shot coming in beyond that. So heads up. All right, the Atlanta area, we've got temperatures that average about 56 this time of year. Below that for the entire next 7-day stretch. Now, there is that chance tomorrow of a wintry mix coming on in, but notice the temperature, 39 degrees. So this is not expected to be a real significant event. And luckily coming in through the day, so not expecting any big accumulation either. Let's look at the Atlanta area overnights, because that's when you might run into some problems, not necessarily from falling precip, but anything that's on the ground that may freeze. And we will be dropping down below freezing, in fact, below 30 by the time we get into Friday night, and then again overnight and Saturday night. So this would be the time frame, Friday night into Saturday morning, that you'd watch for any issues on the roadways. All right, let's go coast to coast right now and take a quick look at your Thursday morning weather headlines. The lake effect. Los Angeles has closed 265 schools for the rest of the week. Most are in the San Fernando Valley. Getting any rain, it's still very dry. We've gone 84 days now without any rain, not a drop of rain in Las Vegas. It's our third longest dry stretch on record, and there's no rain in sight when we look at the forecast. And also we'll watch that Santa Ana wind, that east wind, that accelerating wind, that's in the forecast through the weekend. In the east, we're watching our southern piece of the jet stream, the moisture in it, the chance for some snow in the south. Yep, from Louisiana right through Mississippi, Alabama into Georgia. There is some accumulating snow possible, but there's also thunderstorms that are possible in South Florida as well. Then the front comes into there and we cool down about 10 degrees or more in places like Miami. Saturday's forecast, there is a chance for some wintry mess or mix out there from southeast Virginia into North Carolina in the interior. And then we'll watch that low right off the coast here. It's going to skirt up off the eastern seaboard. It does throw back a little moisture into eastern New England, the Cape. It's possible, but not necessarily likely. All right, so what kind of snow can stack up? And welcome back to AMHQ. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. Winter is taking hold from the Midwest to the Northeast. However, it's actually just starting to feel like, take a look at the cold that's in place, what's happened to our jet stream. We've gotten into this pattern now after a very warm end to November and start to December, where we've got a deep trough in the east in our jet stream. And that's allowed the cold air to filter all the way into the deep south, actually. So that pattern stays in effect through the weekend. Temperatures are going to be either at or below average, and we actually get into some of the colder stuff in the Northeast finally by the end of the weekend. Let's look at today's forecast. We've got a lot of teens and 20s out there for high temperatures. That's it today in Chicago, 29 degrees. Des Moines, we stay in the 20s. Even Kansas City and St. Louis, we're struggling to get above about the mid-30s. Tomorrow's forecast, a smidge warmer. Temperatures are still going to be up in the teens where we got the big snowpack, but elsewhere temperatures will head up into at least the low to mid-30s. And that includes Chicago, where our average high is 37, and that's where we'll be tomorrow. So it's hard to complain about it. It's just been so mild to start the month that this could be a shock to your system. And then we see Saturday's temperature. Another batch of cold comes in. We're back down into the 20s. And the cold that comes in next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, look at this. We are in the 20s and low 30s again here. And that's another just big batch of cold that takes hold and heads south and heads east too. So Minneapolis, our temperatures are going to be in the 20s and 30s next couple of days, below average. There is the chance for snow coming in by late tomorrow night. And then again, the next round of cold comes in and we get it first right here as well. So the air is a bit colder before it goes anywhere else because it's coming over the snowpack that's in Canada and into the northern parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin as well. All right, so for tomorrow, temperatures hit the low 40s in Boston and New York and actually getting colder as we get through the weekend. All right, so winter is certainly taking hold and signs of it all over the place, not just the big puffy coats that are on again. It is actually a forecast of snow that has gotten a lot of you paying attention to the weather. So we'll talk about that. The cold is here, stays in place into the weekend. Temperatures today are going to be running below average. We've got 40s in Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, including in Tallahassee, 49 degrees. That's a big change from the nearly 70 that we saw yesterday. And we stay there through the weekend. Tomorrow is a struggle to get out of the 30s in a good chunk of the south and east. So yes, we do have that chance of moisture coming in. Temperatures will be in the 30s. There is some wintry precip, and we're going to break down exactly what that means. But we look at a place like Memphis. No wintry weather coming your way. It's just temperatures that are running below average. Our average high is 54. We're not going to see that again until Monday when we do briefly get up to 59 degrees. What about the Atlanta area? Look at your forecast. Look at your temperatures. So tomorrow, 39 degrees. There is that rain-snow mix in the forecast, and it's not so much when it's falling, but after it's over and overnight when temperatures start dropping that I'm concerned about any kind of slick spots on the roadways. All right, let's go coast to coast right now and take a look at your Thursday morning weather headlines for major weekend in view. And we've got a look at your forecast. There is no rain in the west. That's incredibly unfortunate. Hopefully, at the very least, we can get the winds to calm down a little bit. Then we go to the east, and the story is the moisture stays in place with the cold air in the south, and that's going to mean some wintry weather, yes, even down into the deep south, Louisiana, Mississippi, into Alabama, parts of Georgia, accumulating snow or slush is possible there. We'll watch also this weekend. Another shot of cold air comes in, brings a little snow with it. We'll see that in the Midwest on Saturday. Sunday, the lake effect is back into